Dear students, in this video lecture, I am going to discuss the methods to find resistance or impedance of a given electrical circuit. This is one of the most important topic of network theory because it has the applications in Thevenin's theorem, Norton's theorem, maximum power transfer theorem and transients. That means when you will study Thevenin's theorem, so there also you will have to find Thevenin's resistance. Similarly, in Norton's theorem, you will have to find Norton's resistance. Here in the case of maximum power transfer theorem, you will have to find Thevenin's resistance. And at last, in transients, when you need to find the time constant of a circuit, so to find the time constant of a circuit having more than one resistors are given, then you will have to find the equivalent resistance of the circuit. So it has four different applications. Next, this is very important topic because if you are appearing in GATE examination or engineering services examination or any examinations having the electricity boards or may have other different examinations, so you will definitely see at least one question from this finding the resistance of the circuit. So if you are going to attempt GATE 2022, then at least 2 marks of question will be asked from this topic. That means it may have the questions, you may expect a question either from these 4 topics. So there you will have to apply the concept of finding the resistance or impedance of the circuit. So let us see how to find the resistance or impedance of a circuit. Now here there will be 4 different cases. There will be 4 different cases. Let us categorize. Case 1. The circuit may have independent source. The circuit may have independent source, or the circuit may have dependent source, or the circuit may have dependent source. So there are 4 different cases. So let us see the different cases. This is the case number. So here you will see that in the first case, case 1, the circuit will not have any source. That means neither dependent source nor independent source. In the second case, the circuit will have only independent source present in the system. There will not be any dependent source. Third case will be the circuit will have both independent and dependent source present in the circuit. And fourth case is the circuit will not have independent source. The circuit will have dependent source only. So we have to study all these 4 cases and we have to discuss the steps to find the equivalent resistance in all these 4 different cases. So let's start with case 1. That means the circuit without any source. The circuit without any source. So let us see. First case is case 1. Here the circuit without any source. Circuit without any source. Now how to find the equivalent resistance in this type of circuit? So for that we have to write the steps. The step 1 is look at the terminal, look at the terminal, look at the terminal, look at the terminal through which equivalent resistance or impedance, through which equivalent resistance or impedance is to be find. Clear? Second step, once you identify the terminal through which you have to find equivalent resistance or impedance, then step 2, what will you do? Find R effective or Z effective either by observation or or by placing a voltage source V across the identified terminal and find Z equal to V by I. So first step is you will identify the terminal through which you have to find equivalent resistance or equivalent impedance. Second case, now to find the equivalent impedance, what you will have to do? First, we can find the equivalent resistance either by observation, or if not, then what you will do? We will put a voltage source across the terminal and we will find V by I. So from there we can easily find Z effective or R effective. So let us discuss one question on this topic. So see, we can have the question like this. We have to find Z effective in this question. Suppose this is 3 ohm, this is 6 ohm, this is 6 ohm, this is your 12 ohm. Clear? So now how will you find? We have to find Z effective from this, seen from this terminal. So what do you see? You see these two resistances are connected in series. So what will you write? You write the equivalent network as 6 plus 6, it will be 12. This is your 3. This is your 3. So now this will be your Z effective. Now both 12 are connected in parallel. So it will become 6. That means 3 plus 6. Your answer will be 9 ohm. So 9 ohm will be the answer. Next, you can have the circuit like this. Suppose this is the circuit. Now you will see that a resistance is connected like this. Clear? This is 2 ohm, 2 ohm, 2 ohm. This is your 6 ohm. This is 6. This is 6. Clear? This is your, suppose this is your 3 ohm. So now you have to find R effective. So let us see how to find R effective in this condition. Here you see that circuit looks like complex. But if you see here, then you see there is the star connection. Here the network is connected in star. So what will you do? We will convert star into delta. That means if you are converting this network into delta, so what will happen? Here all are connected in star. So delta connection will be like this. This will be your delta. This will be your delta. And this will be your delta. Clear? This will be your delta. So now what do you see? A star, the value is 2 ohm. If you are having the network in star, and now if you are converting it into delta, then what happens? Here if you are going from star to delta, then multiply the resistors by 3 if the resistors are equal. Similarly, if you are coming from delta to star, then you will divide by 3. So here what will happen? 2 ohm are star. So in delta it will be 6 ohm, it will be 6 ohm, it will be 6 ohm. So now if you draw the equivalent circuit, now the circuit will look like this one. You will have this type of circuit present in the system. This is 3 ohm. Now 6 plus 6, these two are connected in parallel, 3 ohm. Here also it will be 3 ohm. Here also it will be 3 ohm. Now what do you see? You see that 3 plus 3 are connected in series. So you can replace this by single resistance of 6 ohm. Now 6 and 3 are connected in parallel. The equivalent of 6 and 3 will be 2 ohm. So its equivalent you can write at 2 ohm. So if it is 2 ohm, it is 3 ohm. So Z equivalent will be equal to 5 ohm. Clear? Now you can have another type of circuit given. Now you have to find equivalent resistance or equivalent impedance. See one circuit. This type of problem questions have been asked in GATE examination for many times. For many times. The circuit will be given like this. Circuit will be given like this. Now you have to find the equivalent resistance between A and B terminal. Suppose all the resistances are equal and these are equal to 2 ohm. So let us see how to find this type of circuit. So if this type of circuit is given to you, then what is the rule? The rule is you have to assign the name of all the nodes. So what do you see? There are 4 nodes. 1 node, 2 node, A, B. There are 2 different nodes. Let us assume this C and let us assume it's D. So if there are 4 nodes and you have to find the equivalent between A and B, so we'll place A and B at the horizontal axis and we'll put C and D at vertical axis. Now what we have to do? Start from this point. This is point A. So you see that from point A 2 resistors are connected. One is connected at C. Another one is connected at D. So one is connected at C. So here you connect. This is 2 ohm. Another is connected at D. This is 2 ohm. Come to this point. C to A, already we have made the connection. Now here see there are 2 connections. One is C to B. You are having another connection C to D. So if C to B connection is this and C to D, the connection will be this. All are 2 ohm. Now come to D. You have already made this connection. So only one connection is left, D to B. Clear? So this is also 2 ohm. Now you have to find the equivalent resistance between A and B. So here you see 2 by 2 is equal to 2 by 2. That means this is a type of balanced Wheatstone bridge. So here what will happen? You can ignore this resistance. No current will flow through this resistor. So R equivalent will be how much? If you find the value of R equivalent, 2 plus 2, 4 and 4 will be in parallel. That means it will be equal to 2 ohm. Similarly, you can see a ladder network will be given. And you will have to find the equivalent resistance of infinite ladder network. So we can discuss more problems, more questions in the tutorial session. So let us see the second case. Now come to second case. Second case is circuit having independent sources. Circuit having independent sources. So if independent sources are present in the circuit, then what we'll have to do? Write the steps to solve the question. So what is the first step? First step is we'll have to identify the terminal. So first let us identify the terminal. First step will be same. Let us identify the terminal through which resistance is to be seen. Second step, what will you do? We'll deactivate all the independent sources. That means if you are having 2 independent sources, suppose current and voltage, then we will have to deactivate both the independent sources. Deactivating means if you are having voltage source, then ideal voltage source will be replaced by short circuit, and if you are having current source, then this will be replaced by open circuit. Clear? Third step is now what will you do? Now find R effective either by observations or by finding V by I. That means we will connect a voltage source at the terminal and we will find V by I. So let us take one question. Now you'll have one doubt, sir, why do you deactivate all the independent sources while finding equivalent resistance? See the reason. Suppose you are having this type of source. Clear? This is the network. The network is given to you. Now you have to find here R equivalent. This is 1 ohm. This is 2 ohm. This is 2 ohm. This is 5 volt. This is 2 ampere. So what you have to find? Equivalent resistance. So these are the elements. Resistances are known to you. 2 ohm, 1 ohm. Now what? The resistance of this current source is not given. The current source will also have some resistance. So what will be the value of resistance of a practical ideal current source? If you are having an ideal current source, its resistance is infinity. So infinity, how you show infinity? Infinity means what? Open circuit. So we'll open circuit the resistance. Similarly here, you are having an ideal voltage source. What is the resistance of ideal voltage source? The resistance of ideal voltage source is 0. That's why we short circuit the ideal voltage source. Because if somebody is asking you in interview that why do you open the current source and why do you short the voltage source in finding equivalent resistance, so your answer will be this one. So now what will be the value? 1 ohm, 2 ohm, 2 ohm, all are connected in series. So R equivalent will be equal to 5 ohm. So 5 ohm will be the answer of this question. Clear? Next come to third case. Clear? Case 3 is circuit having both dependent and independent sources. Circuit having both dependent and independent sources. Dependent and independent sources. So if you are having the circuit like this, then how will you find? First step is you will have to identify the terminal. First step will be common. You will have to identify the terminal. Second step they have given that deactivate all the independent sources. Here you see, you have to deactivate independent sources only. You are not going to deactivate dependent source, and you can never deactivate any dependent source in the circuit. If you take dependent source, so only the source transformation is possible in dependent source, but you cannot deactivate a dependent source. So deactivate dependent sources will be remained in the circuit. Third step, come to third step. Now what you have to do? Now you'll have the circuit having dependent source and resistors left in the circuits. Now what you'll have to do? Place a voltage source, place a DC voltage source, place a voltage source V, place a voltage source V across the terminal, place the voltage source V across the terminal and find Z effective, that will be equal to V divided by I. What is the meaning of this? This time you are not going to find R equivalent by observation. This time it is compulsory for you to place a voltage source V across the terminal, and that voltage source will deliver a current I. Suppose you are having the terminal A and B, then you will place a voltage source V. You will write here the current coming out through the battery will be I, and then you will write Z effective will be equal to V by I. That means anyhow you will have to manage to find V divided by I. That means relation between V and I. So let us see how to solve this type of circuits, because there is a dependent source present in the network, and you should know there can be more than one dependent source also in the circuit. Clear? So quantity does not matter. You have to see the concept. You must know the steps. Then you can easily find the circuit. Let us see one question. It is written that you are having a dependent source plus minus 2i. You are having the resistance 1 ohm, another resistance 1 ohm, current is 2 ampere, another resistance of 2 ohm, the terminal is X and Y. The terminal is X and Y, and here the current is I. Here the current is I. Now you have to find R equivalent from this terminal. Clear? So what is the first step? First step is you have to identify the terminal. Yes, the terminal has been identified. Now what do you see? You see that there are independent as well as dependent sources in the network. So second step is you have to deactivate independent source. That means this current source will be deactivated. This current source will be completely deactivated. And then what we'll have to do? We'll have to connect a battery. We'll have to connect a battery of V volt, and current coming out through this battery will be I. Now by applying Kirchhoff's current law and Kirchhoff's voltage law, you have to find V by I. Now which law will be applicable here? Now here you see that there is a dependent source. So before connecting the battery and deactivating the, listen it carefully, before connecting the battery and without deactivating the current source, the current was 2I. That means here the quantity was 2I, here it was I. Now if you are connecting, if you are doing some modification in the circuit, you have deactivated independent source, you have placed one voltage source, then this value of the current will be changed. So now you will have to write the value to I dash. Because if you are solving the objective questions, then it is okay. But if you are solving the conventional questions, so their examiners will see these type of things also. So you will have to make minimum mistake. You should not make any kind of intentional mistake in the examination. So now we will have the circuit like this. Now how to solve the problem of dependent source? How to solve the problem of dependent source? So let us see some steps to solve the problem of dependent source. First step is look at the magnitude of dependent source. Look at the magnitude of dependent source. Look at the magnitude of dependent source. Second step is identify the branch. Identify the branch on which its magnitude depends. Third step is apply Ohm's law in that branch. Clear? Apply Ohm's law in that branch. The first step is look at the magnitude of dependent source. So this is the magnitude 2I dash. Now we have to identify the branch on which its magnitude depends. So this is this branch. Here you see the current I dash is flowing. Now what you have to do? You have to apply Ohm's law in this branch. So if you are applying Ohm's law, here you see this is the ground terminal, potential is 0 volt. Now you will have to write potential of this node. So what will be the potential of this node? Here the voltage is 0 volt. Here V volt. Here also it will be V volt. V volt. Here also it will be V volt. Clear? Because all the nodes are sorted. So here what do you see? You write I dash will be equal to V minus 0 by 1. That means I dash will be equal to V. This is your first equation. Next, what you have to do? Now we have to find the relation between V and I. So remember one more thing. In the maximum circuits, Kirchhoff's current law will be applied. Clear? In very few circuits, Kirchhoff's voltage laws are applied. So here you will apply Kirchhoff's current law at this node. All are the common nodes. So here how many branches are there? Branch number 1, branch number 2, branch number 3, branch number 4. So let us assume the outgoing currents are positive and incoming currents are negative. So here the potential is V, potential is 0. Here the potential is 2I dash. So what will be the outgoing current of this branch? This current will be V minus 2I dash divided by 1 plus here what do you see? V minus 0 by 1, or you can simply write it I dash. I dash is already marked, plus this current will be V minus 2 divided by 3, V minus 0 divided by 2. This is branch number, so don't confuse with the numbers given here. V minus 0 divided by 2 plus, now here this current I is incoming current, so minus I will be equal to 0. So what do you see? You see V minus 2I dash. The value of I dash is V, that means V minus 2V plus I dash, that means V plus V by 2 minus I will be equal to 0. So what do you see? Here from here it becomes V by 2 equal to I, or you can write R effective will be equal to V by I and it will be equal to 2 ohm. So 2 ohm will be the answer. 2 ohm will be the answer of first of this question. Clear? So you can see that how easily the question has been solved, but only you should remember the steps. That means if dependent source is there in the circuit, then what are the different steps to find the equivalent resistance. And again, for dependent source, you will have to find the value of dependent source. That means you will have to relate the magnitude of dependent source with other voltages and currents. So for that, these three steps are compulsory. Clear? So next come to fourth case. This was case 3. Next come to fourth case. In the fourth case, the circuit will have dependent source only. So let us see the circuit having dependent source only. So let us see how to solve this type of question. Dependent source, circuit has been dependent source only. So if the circuit is having only dependent source present, then again let us write the steps. The first step is identify the having the dependent source only, identify the terminal. Second step, now what will you do? Place a voltage source V at the terminal. Third step, by KCL and KVL, find V by I. And this will be equal to R effective and it will be equal to V divided by I. That means here this time, since independent sources are absent in the circuit, so you can directly place a voltage source V at the terminal after identifying the terminal, because here you don't need to deactivate the independent sources, because independent sources are not present in the circuit. Clear? So let us solve one question. We are having the question like this. Here it is 99 IB. Here it is 99 IB. And here it is 9K and 1K. 9K and 1K. 1 kilo ohm. 9 kilo ohm. This is current IB. this is current IB, and here it is 100 ohm. Here it is 100 ohm. Here it is 100 ohm. Now what you have to find? You have to find RAB. You have to find RAB. This question was asked in GATE examination in electrical engineering, and most probably this question was asked in GATE 2013, where the paper was common for the network and control portion was common for electrical, electronics and instrumentation engineering students. So here let us see how to find RAB. So first step we will connect. We have already identified the terminal. Second step is we will connect a battery V. Current coming out through this battery will be I. Current coming out through this battery will be I. Next, now when you connect a battery, this current will be changed to IB dash. This current will be changed to IB dash. Now what do you know? These two nodes are at common potential. The potential at ground is 0 volt. Here the potential is V volt. Here also the potential is V volt. So what can we do? We can apply Kirchhoff's current law at this node. So there will be 4 branches. 1, 2, 3 and 4 branch. So apply by applying KCL at node. So if you are applying KCL, so you are having 4 branches. The first branch, it is incoming branch. But what do you see? Here dependent source is present in the system. So first we'll have to relate the dependent source with this magnitude voltage source. So you see dependent source, the value is 99 IB dash, and IB dash is the current associated with this branch. So what do you see? You will have to relate IB dash with V. So if you are relating IB dash with V, so what do you know? Here you see, if the direction of IB dash is from left to right, and potential here it will be plus, here it is minus. That means the current should flow from right to left, but here the current has been shown from left to right. If you find IB dash, so here you will have to write IB dash will come negative. So IB dash will be equal to minus P divided by 1K plus 9K, it will be 10K. You have to take care of this sign, this negative sign, because the direction of current is opposite here. Now if you are applying KCL, you can write, by applying KCL, you can write IB dash, here the current is incoming. Let us take incoming current as positive. Why? Because majority of the currents are incoming. So that's why we are taking incoming current as positive. Some people confuse that, sir, where we have to take negative, where we have to take positive currents. So remember only one thing. You can either take one convention, that means you will take outgoing currents as positive, incoming currents as negative. But generally I take that when the majority of currents are incoming, then we'll take incoming currents as positive, and when majority of carrier currents are outgoing currents, then we'll take outgoing currents as positive. Clear? So don't confuse with the sign conventions. So here it will be by KCL IB dash, by KCL it will be IB dash. Here it is incoming current minus I plus outgoing current V minus 0 by 100, and plus here it is 99 IB dash. This will be equal to 0. This will be equal to 0. So what do you write? 100 IB dash minus I plus V by 100 will be equal to 0. Will be equal to 0. Now what about 100 IB dash? What about 100 IB dash? So here you see that 100 IB dash means here you write, and here one more thing. This is outgoing branch. This is outgoing branch. This is your incoming branch will be positive. All the incoming branches are positive, and outgoing branch is negative. Outgoing branch you have taken here is negative. So here it will be plus, it will be minus. So now 100 IB dash, that means 100 into minus V divided by 10K means 10 to the power 4 plus I minus V by 100 will be equal to 0. So from here what will you see? You will see that I will be equal to V by 50. I will be equal to V by 50. From here Z equivalent will be equal to V by I, and it is equal to 50 ohm. 50 ohm. So the value of RAB is 50 ohm. RAB is 50 ohm. Clear? So you can see that now you can easily find the resistance of any kind of circuit. There are only 4 different types of circuits that are possible, and they will ask to find equivalent resistance. Clear? So the topic is very easy. Only you have to remember the steps, that means how to solve. Clear? So by this way you can solve. By this way you can solve the value of resistance. You can find the value of resistance in the circuit. So after finding the value of resistance, you can apply that resistance in Thevenin's theorem, that resistance in Norton's theorem, that resistance in maximum power transfer theorem, and last that resistance in transients. Now if you start studying network theorems, that means Thevenin's theorem, Norton's theorem, so there only you have to find the VTH and IN, because you already know the value of RTH and RN. That means Thevenin's resistance and Norton's resistance.